there, welcome to the HTM buddy build of the U.S.S. Reliant. My name is Ken with Ken's Hobby Bench.
And I'm Jordan with a line in the stars.
Welcome back, everyone. So, Jordan, this past week here, we got some work done on some lighting here. What did you get done on yours?
Still in progress, and that is getting the impulse deck put in place. Well, it's not really the impulse deck, just the impulse engine put in place. So I've been kind of working on getting, unfortunately, the parts on the other side of the room right now, so I didn't think to grab the rear engine part of it, but getting the resin piece that Will sent to us, getting in this fit into place. I've gotten the impulse engine, the original one, cut out, and I've just been kind of working on getting it sanded in place. And so, yeah, working on that, and also as well working on a little bit of lighting and the sanding. The sanding is almost complete. It's all kind of needs to be finished up. So that's what I got done for this episode. So yeah, that's what's coming out for me here in the coming couple days. How about yourself?
Oh, last week I just kind of finished up some lighting. I did my flickering LEDs. I've got them put it back in place, and I did replace the one that I burned out, or sorry, that I wrecked right at the very end of my episode. I was pulling it out of this little light box, and wouldn't you know it, it broke the connection somewhere on the inside. So I just said, you know what, I'll just burn in a new one, and now it's in place. So yeah, but all good now. So what are you going to work on this week?
Well, the big task, I've spent the last week or so getting all 28 of my LEDs burned in, ready to go. I'm going to be getting all of my light boxes installed. And first things first, I got to get this primed. I got to get this light block from the inside. So I'm going to be taking care of that over the next couple of days. But then after that gets after the primer and everything gets cured up, going to get the light boxes put in place and start working on getting all my wiring done around the outside. Big step. Lots of wiring to do. This was a lot of this was a lot. Like 28 of these is quite a bit. I realized that there's going to be some amps running through this model, and I'm a little bit behind you, of course. And it's just amazing seeing how many wires you've got running through the back there. It's just, oh boy.
Yeah. The thing is, a lot of them are just getting narrowed down to, down to one here and one in there, just so that, when it's actually time, like these will be shortened again and then put into one, and they'll be, attached to the ones on the top and do the same thing. And then just so I can get down to one wire only going through this little hole here. It's only, I think right now, I've got it set as a 6 millimeter tube for it to go down.
Okay.
I'm hoping I don't have to go through anything. I'm hoping I don't have to increase the size. So
yeah,
that's what I had ordered with the base kit from trying to remember.
Cosmic Scale.
Thank you, Cosmic Scale.
Yep.
So I ordered 6 millimeter, and I ordered it with the pre-drilled hole. I mean, yeah, I can increase it, but I don't want to start making it, larger than, I really have to.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. What about you? What are you going to be working on this week?
So this week I've already done a little bit and recorded it. I've done some lights here for these windows around here. You can see here I've got a little bit of styrene, and then I've got some right here going around for the inside for these windows. So you'll see me working on that. And then I've started working on my planetary sensor here. Now going through, we've got Todd, Marble Phoenix, over at Hobby Time Modelers. He's done our intro, and he's done a lot of stuff to help us out. He's doing our lighting for us with the programming. He got together he went through all the footage of the ship for us and provided us with a copy of just any shots of the ship. And there's only like 2 minutes and 11 seconds. So going through that, looking at the planetary sensor, there's only 2 little red lights that come out of the front. And really nothing that comes out of the sides or the back except for one scene. It comes out of the back before Con takes over the ship, and then after that, nothing. So I'm gonna get that wired up, put that in, and then yeah, I'm probably gonna be doing my. Actually, I'm gonna do. I know I want to do my Raytheon effect for the front, and then I also want to do my impulse engines and maybe get my crystal in place as well. I don't know if I will get the crystal in place, but we'll see. But for sure, I want to start working on this rear of the ship. So yeah, that's kind of what I got, what I'm going to go for. I keep saying I'm going to work on the pylons here, but I just keep end up backing out and not doing them. So I'm not going to say that I'm going to do them this time.
Nice.
I think we should give a shout out to Phil over at
at
Spruverse there. He just completed a build of this kit, and he did use some of the parts that we are using. He didn't use all the parts, and he did a little bit of masking of the saucer, but he also did a lot of the decal work. So shout out to Phil. He did a great job.
It was an excellent build. Yeah,
yes.
You know what's funny is like we're going deep, even deeper than Will is going with his, because like we managed to like stay behind him enough that like we received all of the parts. So but it shows like Phil with his build, he was able to show that just the 537 kit with just a few mods is such an amazing build, and it can look really, really good. So anybody at AMT, if you guys are listening, give us the 350 already, for the love of sprues.
Yes, please do. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Phil. Great job, Phil. Always amazing, and you always get it done so quick. You are a fast building person.
It's crazy. Ken and I were like, uh-oh, like we better finish before Phil does, and I don't even know what we were thinking.
We didn't stand a chance, Phil.
No, we did not.
Also like to say that if you're looking to build this as well, like Phil did, or like we are, or will, the parts should be ready. Not like tomorrow for us is the 1st of August. So August sometime here. Cass over at Lake Monster Details is hoping to have the parts available for purchase. So keep an eye out on Lake Monster Detail for all that. And hopefully you'll be able to get some of these amazing parts from both Will's designs and from Cass's business, because some of these he already had done, and others Will's provided him with to print out. So just keep an eye out for that, and check out Lake Monster Detail for all your other ships that you're looking to build and modify.
Absolutely.
Well,
all right, my friend. It seems like it's time to get to building. What do you think?
I think it is. So let's head off to the bench and get some work done.
I'll see you there.
All right, welcome back to the bench, everyone. So I've got the roll bar and weapons pod still gluing up again. I've gone through and cleaned it up a little bit, and then sanded these seams. They're really nice and smooth now. So I'm happy with that. And I've gone and they were mostly closed up. There were a couple little gaps, so I've gone and re-glued those areas and applied some pressure with a few clamps and just some tape. So that's looking good. We're going to carry on here with our lights and our saucer. So the first thing I want to work on is getting my lights down for these windows around here. So what I've gone and done is take another piece of my sheet styrene here. This is the 0.5 millimeter that I've been using throughout the build here. It's 0.5 millimeter or 0.02 of an inch. So that's what I'm using here. And what I've done is I've cut it in length of about 4.5 inches by, I think it's 3/8 of an inch, just that I'm going to put down in here. And I'll secure it in place. And I'll leave a little opening at the back here so I can run lights down here for my planetary sensor on the bottom. And that way with this here, I can put some of my LED cob light, strip light around here to shine out these windows. So I'm just looking here, and that should be pretty good. So that's what I'll do here. Up here in this area, what I'll do is I will end up taking another piece of strip styrene, about the same width of 3/8 of an inch, and I'm not sure on the length yet. It'll probably come up somewhere about here, because I don't want, it can only go so far before it's gonna cause issues with fitment with the top of the saucer, because it's, you know, pretty wide. I can cut it down, but I mean, yeah, I mean, to a point. But what I'm thinking is that I'll be using the cob again, because I found that was the best solution. So these lights will also be picking up some light from this Raytheon effect lighting, as well as down here. This will get a strip here, and then probably some LED tape down here as well, and above the strip on the top saucer top area, just to really give this the best possible amount of light that I can get on here for the Raytheon effect. The other Raytheon effects really are nice and bright right now. I'm really happy with them. This is the biggest one here, and it's kind of going to be the focal point of where people are going to be looking when the Raytheon effect is on. So this is, I'm going to need like maximum lighting as far as what I'm thinking. So I guess it's not really technically maximum lighting, or it's maximum lighting that I'm willing to go for. So we'll do that as well. Then I want to run some red LEDs down onto here. So onto our planetary sensor. So we're going to need, I believe it's 2 up here on the front, and I believe each one of these side pieces should have 1 as well. So that'll be down there as well with the red lights. And what I'm going to be using is these connectors here, so that I can just have the connector just kind of hanging down here or whatever. I can cover it some tape to protect it. And so that when it comes time to paint, I can paint the bottom, and then this can be painted separately and attached, because when you're painting, you want to get up in here as close as you can, and then come in here afterwards and place this on top. You don't want to try and mask up to this sensor. It's just, I've seen people say that it becomes almost like an impossible task. So that's what we're going to be doing with that. So let's get started here. We'll come in here. I'm going to take some CA glue and begin tacking this in place. So let's do that. Now you can see I've already glued in my RCS thrusters here. I did burn in a new light. I got rid of the other one that I burnt out at the end of last episode. So no worries there. You don't have to ask if I remembered to do that, because I did. Yeah, I don't know if hot glue would work to peg this in place first. I don't think I need to. You know what? I'm just going to go straight from the bottle here, I think. Oh, let's go like this. And we'll come in here with some kicker, just to get things started rolling. I'll give us a peg down point here, and then we can kind of come in and do the same thing over on this side, and do the same thing. So let's take our glue again, come in here. Now I'm thinking I may probably gonna need to do the same up top for the top saucer section. So when we look at this top here, what we're gonna have here is these lights coming through here. Right, so I gotta mask off the lights for the windows here, the room on the back here, the little. I'm not sure if theirs is a officer's lounge or what it is, or something like that. But yeah, it might as well be lit as well. So yeah, so I'm gonna need some lights up there. I don't know that this, like, it may be bright enough. So what I'll end up doing is get my lights on here. We'll test them out and we'll see. Now I have another full roll of white cob strip lighting here that I purchased for this purpose, and I did burn this in for actually about 2 days. I burnt it in for, so it's good. So what I'll do is I'll go around here and I'll pig this down with a little bit more glue, and then we'll come back and we'll attach some cob lighting. So I'm going to get to work on that and I'll be right back. Alright, so here we go. I have my LED cob strip light here all soldered up. Let's see if it's working, and if it is, we can put it in place. There we go. So it works. So what I'll do here is just take off my backing. Now I've only got 4 sections here. That's all I really need, because I'm only going from, you know, this area here to around to this area here. So there we go. And then we're not going to trust this to be the only source of it being attached. We're also going to, there we go, we're also going to use a little CA glue. But before I do that, let's see how our lights look in place. So again, we'll connect our, this time my negative and my positive, and we'll see how that looks. Let's turn off these lights, and can we see these windows? Yes, we can, although I think they need a little cleaning out. So I think it'll be really good too once we get our resin in here, the UV resin. I think that'll really show that off really well. So there we have it. Our lights are in place. I don't know how well you can see that, but there we have it. There we go. So these last 2 lights are a little bit plugged, so these need to be cleaned out. So there we have it. Those are our lower lights. Let's just see if that'll make... No, I don't think that's going to be enough light for here, but you can see it's already lighting up our Raytheon effect. So our Raytheon effect is going to be really good, especially now that it's cleaned out in the middle. Yeah, I think it's going to be really nice once we have the other LEDs in the area. And actually with this one down here, I may not need to put a bottom one in, because it kind of checks off the box of getting this first little area really well. Yeah. And does it get these windows fairly well? You know? Yeah, you know what? It may do that. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll clean these windows out a little bit better. I'll take a look, see if I'm happy with them, and then what we can do after that is we can move on to putting, I think I'll put a little strip styrene around here, so it's going to be a bigger piece, but about the same thickness of 3/8 of an inch. I'll put it around here, and then I can throw my cob lighting in here. So I'll clean out those windows and get some lights put in here, and we'll see how that looks. So I'll be right back. All right, here we have our next set of lights here. Now this strip here, you can go anywhere from about 5.5 to 6 inches in length if you're going to put it right around like I did here. And now I've looked at it, it seemed to be looking pretty good. So we'll take this one now and we'll put it in place and take a look again. I'll show you how it kind of looks. It seems to light it up really well. I think that's going to be a good solution. So, and there we go. This is 5 segments of lights. You can see it really lights up this area here. Not so much back here, but that's okay. It'll still have the ambient light coming out the rear here, which is all we really need. It doesn't need to be a big bright light there. And these lights aren't directly directed at the windows, but it will light them up. So I'm happy with that, and I'm thinking we're good to go. So I think next what I'm going to do here is set up the lights for the planetary sensor here. I'll get them put into place and we'll carry on. So I'll tidy this area up here and we'll come back and put some red lights on here. Alright, so here we are on the planetary sensor now. I have two 1.5 millimeter LEDs here that I'm going to use. I think they'll do nicely. Right now they're resisted for 9 to 12, and I think that's going to be good enough because I don't want them too bright. I don't want them at like maximum brightness. So they're going to only be run at 5 volts, so I think that's going to be an acceptable level of light. Now, in looking at all the shots of the Reliant in the movie, I think it's only like 2 minutes and 11 seconds from what I've seen, and it only looks to be that these two front ones are the only ones lit. I've seen other shots now where it shows the sides of these and they don't appear to be lit. The rear does not appear to be lit except for one shot near the beginning when it's kind of like a whitish blue, I think. And I'm not even 100% sure from the distance. And that was only before Khan took over the ship. After that, when you see the ship going by, it doesn't appear to be lit. So I'm going to leave these unlit, but I will light up these two front ones as they are prominently seen in the movie. So what I'll do is these lights need to be burnt in. But what I can do is I can kind of tack them in. But first what I'll have to do is I'll do some light blocking on this piece here. Because as you can see, we can see our lights through here. We don't want that. So I'll light block this with a little black and then maybe some white or just more black. It doesn't really matter because these lights are going to be right up against the front here. And then what I can do is tack them into place just kind of right there and there. And then all I got to do is attach one side of I believe these are called JST connectors. So one end will be male, one end will be female. So I'll just have the two connected together and then go to one plug, and then the plug will be able to plug into the main hull when we're ready to install this. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do right now. Is I'll do some light blocking. I'll leave these to burn in, and then we'll get to work on another part of the ship. So I'll be right back. All right, so here we are. We're moving on. This is all light blocked now really well. A couple coats of just some black primer. I do believe I used the Mr. Finishing Surfacer Black 1500. Just thinned down with some, I believe their leveling thinner. And so what I'm going to do now is I've had these burn in for actually about 48 hours now. So what I can do is get them into place. And we should see but there's no light bleed coming through the top. So we are good. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get these glued into place and secured and get them ready to have the JST plugs attached. So let's get at that. So these do have a little bit of a pimple on top. You can kind of see that. And that's what we're going to have to try to get set up to kind of stick out there a little bit, or stick that into that area. I don't know that it really needs to stick out, but we want it sticking kind of so it's projecting the best we can through that hole. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use UV resin to kind of secure these in, and then also get some UV resin into these holes here for the light. So let's get my UV resin out. Alright, so before we begin gluing and fastening in the lights themselves, let's set them up with the JST connector first. Just easier when it's done that way, I would assume. So we're not going to need a lot in this area. I think just kind of cutting these down to a minimal level, somewhere around here, kind of that length will suffice. I mean, because these are sitting side by side, and then this will be able to be tucked back up into the rest of the hull with the other end. So let's cut these down and connect them together to make kind of one unit, and then we'll come back and apply the JST connector. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we're just soldering our JST onto our shortened wires here. And don't forget to put your shrink tubing on first. Otherwise you're not going to be able to get your shrink tubing in there. Alright, there we have it. I'll put 2 layers of shrink tubing on. So kind of a red, mostly to capture the JST side of things. If I can figure out what I did wrong here. Get that to slide over. There we go. And believe it or not, same on this other side. There we go. We'll just shrink this up and then we'll get it into place. Alright, so here we have our parts ready to go here. We have our planetary sensor dome, and we have our lights with their JST connector. So let's get them put into place. And just like that and that. So we'll get this one in first. So what I'm going to do is take some of my UV resin. Let's put some here. I had warmed this up again, doing the armpit method. I just stick the whole bottle in my armpit there for a few minutes, just to help with the viscosity of it. Just apply it with a toothpick. I got to be like Jordan. I got to get those little UV bottles he uses. Those look fantastic. Also, Andrew at Canadian Starships, I think he uses them too. It would make it much easier to do this with. So I'm going to also put some in this little opening here, just like that. There we go. I think that's good. We'll take our UV light. Alright, so there's the first one in here. We'll take our second one here, and we will get our pimple on there lined up best we can to focus out that hole. There we go. I think just right like that. Now we'll take our UV resin, and again we'll just put it in there, kind of around there to get secured in as best we can. Kind of take as much as I can off the top there, because I'm probably going to have to sand this whole area here down just a little bit to make sure we have a good fit on the model itself. We'll fill in this window as well again. There we go. A little bit more in this window over here as well. There we go. And come in with our UV light and cure it in place. So I'll be right back. Alright, so here we have everything ready to go here. I have my other end of my JST connector just right here. So we're going to try and connect this up and see that it works. I hope. So, there we go. I'm not snapping it in together all the way because I don't want to have to try and take it apart. But there we go. There's our two red lights for the bottom. Just like that. So I think that's going to be really good. Like I said, though, I'm going to have to sand down just a little bit for it to sit flush. Part of the rim of the LED itself is sticking up just a little bit proud. So I think we should be able to just come in here and sand that back a little without it causing any damage. Yeah, there we go. So let's get to the bottom and we'll see how it looks. So let's stick this through. Bring this. Oh, my negative came loose. Kind of stick it together loosely. There we go. So it comes on, sort of, and should be able to just tuck that back in there with these like that, and there we go. We'll have our lights on the bottom. If you aim them a little bit better. But there we have it. Aim it. So there we go. There's our red lights on the bottom. Looking good. I'm happy with that. So these are now done and can be put aside. There we go, unplugged. The other end I will secure in the main hull here. And it'll just be another part of the other lights of the kit, so it can be connected to any of the others. So it's just gonna kind of live up here. Actually, you know what? I could actually feed it through and just tape it off for when I go to paint. And then everything can just be jammed back up in there when we're done. So that's what's going to happen there. So I'll get that in place. And then, you know what, I think I'll move on here and I'll get our flashing lights put in, our navigation lights here, and get them ready to go. So I'll be right back. All right, so here we have our wires run in. I secured down this strip lighting here with some CA glue on the bottom down here, and then kind of on the back kind of edge here where it's overlapping the styrene. So that'll be good. It won't come off because it's not just relying on its sticky coating on the back. And then I've run the wires down here a little bit. This GST connector sticks out this far. It'll be good. I can, when it comes to painting, I can just kind of just tape it up and then just stick it back in a little bit. And that way it'll be good. And then when we're done, we can pull it out a little bit, and at least that's what I'm hoping, and unwrap it. So yeah, that's the plan there. So that's good. It's extra wire, more than I'll need, and I do realize that in the end, a lot of these will be joining up into one strand because we're going to have strand for main lighting, strand for the Raytheon effect, strand for strobes, strand for navs, and a strand for the warp engines, and strands for the photon torpedoes, and possibly for phasers. So, and then negatives. So I don't know if we're using common and negative or not. So I'm gonna have to try and fit 8 lights, or 8 lines down that tube. So could be fun. At least that's what I'm thinking. I'm sure I'm probably forgetting something else, but so far that's what we're looking at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out my lights I'm going to use. Probably just some little SMDs to fit in there, just to go into there, and then maybe at the end I can just stick a little bit of filament cable, kind of like this stuff here. I can stick a little bit of this just in there onto the light if need be. But before I can do that, I'm going to actually have to go ahead and burn them in. So I'm going to set up some of those to burn in, and then you know what I'm going to do next, I think, because we've been waiting for so long, I think I'm going to pull this off of here and insert this one. So we'll skip. I'm going to take a break from lighting because I've been doing a lot of lighting this episode. Let's do something a little bit more fun. Let's pull this off and put the new one in. So I'll set that up and I'll be right back. All right, so here I am back at the bench, and I've got my reds and greens here burning away. So I'll let them burn in for 24 hours before I get to installing them. From what I figured, looking at the shots of the ship, so it's going to be the red and greens. I'll need 2, and then 2 back here, so that's 4, and then 2 flashing white navigations up here. So that's all we're going to need, and the rest of them are going to be strobes. So the red and green are burning in now. I'll worry about the white after those are done. But for now, to finish this episode off, I think we're going to do something, like I said, we've been waiting to do for a while, and that is to put in this new impulse engine deck. So, what I'm thinking of doing here, as you can see, we have a lip in here on the back, and it looks like it'd be about the same size as this opening right here. So I'm thinking if I cut this out, and then I can start sanding back, and that'll also give me lots of room to play with as well, and I think we'll be good. You know, we can adjust our angles and whatnot as we go. So what I'm going to use is I believe I'll use my I won't use the Sonic Saber for this, just for safety's sake, because it seems to be maybe possibly overcutting, and I don't want to do that here. This is fairly can be fairly weak with what we have until we get this in place, so I don't want to risk doing any extra damage. So I think just drilling this out and then sanding, this part here flush down with the rest of this, I think will give us a good shot at coming in with this part. So I'll get my rotary tool set up with a drill bit and we'll start drilling. Okay, I'm just using a 1.5 millimeter drill bit here, and I'm just gonna start getting this out. Alright, now we can come back in here with, could come back in here with the Sonic Saber, or I'm going to try just some sprue cutters now, just to kind of, just go in between, clean this up, and to get this out of here. There we have it. That is it out of the way. We can kind of see what we have. So it looks like it's going to go directly over top of that. So what we can do now is I'm going to sand this area down, and we'll see if we can't get this to fit in here. So I'll be right back. So what I'm doing before I come in and sanding, I'm coming here actually with the sprue cutting nippers here from Tamiya again, and actually just cutting away a little extra material, save me on some sanding. I just figure that's a better use of time than straight on sanding right off the hop. So feel free to use that method as well. Now I haven't done the bottom yet, but let's see how that's going for here. So far, not bad. So we got to come around to our bottom here. And this is where it gets tricky because I can't really come in at a good angle with the nippers. So maybe sanding is the way to go when we get back here. So you can see I can go a little bit wider at the bottom. And that's actually kind of, I think, where the bottom needs to be, quite possibly. So I don't know that I need to necessarily come down any further. So I'm going to start working with the sander now and see what I come up with. So give me a few minutes of doing this and I'll come back and show you what I got. All right, so coming through here, you can see it's kind of matching the bottom here, but this piece is actually supposed to be larger. So as you can see, just because the bottom's lining up, the top isn't. So the top's going to need to come down more. So that means this bottom's going to have to come out. So I'm going to keep working, getting this area out of here. And yeah, then I'll be right back. All right, so here we go. It's actually in there pretty good as far as where it needs to go. Not too pretty on the back side, but that's not really what matters. But now I'm going to need to sand down this detail up here to give this a place to sit more flush down and match up with the back of the rest of the hull here. So what I'll do here is I'll sand down this, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've kind of got the parts removed. You can actually see the where I've sanded it down. You can see the line of where it was, and so nice and flush now. And this piece will go right in here like that. Now the question is, how far up or down does it need to go? So what I'm thinking I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the rear of the hull. I'm going to tack it into place best I can, and then I'll glue on the impulse engine. So give me a second here. I'll kind of get this all taped into place, and we'll come back in and we'll glue in our impulse deck. So be right back. All right, so we have this all taped in temporarily, lined up with where it needs to be, so looking good. And we can take our impulse engine housing here and just drop it into place. And we can see where it's going to go. So, just looking at our fitment, it's not going to be bad. Maybe a little bit of putty just at the very top, but yeah, putty's our friend, so nothing to be concerned about. So I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some CA glue. I'm going to put it along the edge here, and I'll glue this into place. Now we don't need to put any CA glue along the top. We're not connecting it to the top or anything. We're not connecting the rear in place anytime soon. So I am going to clean this up before I put it into place. So I don't want too much oozing out. Let's take a toothpick or cocktail stick and just move this around it. This is a medium strength CA glue, or the medium viscosity, or whatever it is. So there we go. That should be good. And I'll drop that in place. And it'll give us just a moment to kind of make sure everything's good. Make sure our line along the bottom looks to be about the same. Let's use a cocktail stick and just kind of check. Yep, that looks the same. So I'm happy with that. So I could come in here with some kicker and just get it to cure a little quicker. Okay, little kicker. So let's come in here from behind. And there we go. So that'll do it. That'll hold that in place. And yeah, now it's looking a little bit closer to being done. So I'm happy with that. Now we should be able to take this all off and take a look, see how it's looking without it being in that place. Where it is right now, though, it is looking really good. So I am happy with that. Let's get our tape off of here. Easier said than done. There we go. Yeah, just remember, CA glue or kicker can kind of do nasty things to your paint. So always be aware of that. So there we go. So that's in place now, and I'm really happy with that. It looks so much more detailed than the original. I have to say, Will, you did an amazing, amazing job. If you're watching these videos before you do this kit, I mean, I would recommend not putting these tractor beam emitters in place yet. Once you kind of have them sanded down, you can also, if you're doing this part as well, you can remove and sand this part down. That way it just, I mean, because when I was sanding, I just put my thumb there and would sand around it. Try not to, you know, hit it too many times. I got hit a few times, but no real damage, so to speak. But yeah, it would just make it easier. Yeah, because at that point, then you'd be basically sanding everything flat on the back and then coming in and adding your parts. So something to keep in mind if you're following this along and you are at this point and you already have the tractor beam emitters in place. Not a big deal. Like I said, I just put my thumb kind of right on the edge, thumbnail kind of biting down in between, and they would sand. It's not a big deal. It's quite easily doable. So there we have it. So our parts in place. Another great job by Will, and these parts will be available from Cass over at Lake Monster Detail. So remember, Lake Monster Detail offers the upgrade parts and details for accuracy, special effects, and lighting, and it offers the legacy parts from Dawn's Light and Magic. So check out Cass at Lake Monster Detail. Also, check out Will at the Anson's Chair. He's got many great videos, great builds. He's the guy who did all these parts for, designed for this kit here and kind of inspired our build for Jordan and I. And don't forget to go check out Jordan to see what he's done in his video this week. But I think that's where I'm going to end it right now. I think that's enough content for this week. I'm going to let some lights burn in and then do my white light burn-ins. And then I'm going to look at start burning in the rest of my strobes. And then hopefully next episode I can close up my warp nacelles and kind of maybe get them attached to the pylons and start working on the pylons. Because our weapons pod now is done. It's I think we're good. I'm gonna have to plug it in, check for light leaks along the seams, and may have to do it a few times. May have to use some putty. But that's fine. It's not really an issue. But thanks again for watching. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you like what you see, and also hit that like button if you like what you see. So thanks again. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now. Man, I've been holding in a fart.
Oh my God.